All right, welcome. In today's explainer, we're diving into a really powerful idea. The thought that the complex world inside us, our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions, directly shapes the results we get in the world outside. So how do we bridge that gap between the life we want and the one we actually have? Let's get into it.
You ever have that feeling you have a crystal clear goal? You know exactly what you want, but for some reason, the reality you're living just doesn't quite line up. It's a super common frustration, and it points to a disconnect that we're going to unpack today.
So this really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got your inner state, the whole mix of your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. And on the other, your outer results, your actual performance, what you achieve, your day-to-day reality. The big question we're tackling here is how to make sure what's happening on the left is creating the results we really want on the right.
To figure that out, we first have to get a handle on a concept called the inner work. And I love this subtitle, Untangling Our Internal Wires, because that's exactly what it is. It's about becoming an active participant in what's going on inside your own head.
So what is it, really? Well, the inner work is this deliberate process of looking inward to find and heal the things that are holding us back. We're talking about those hidden beliefs, those old emotional patterns, and all those internal blockages we might not even realize are there.
And this path has three pretty clear steps. First, you have to uncover things, bring those unconscious patterns out into the open. Then you integrate what some people call the shadow. That means working with those unprocessed emotions you might have been pushing away for years. And the final goal? To achieve harmony, bringing all these different pieces of yourself together into one unified, coherent whole. All this inner work builds towards our second big idea, the coherent nexus. So if the inner work is the journey, you can think of the coherent nexus as the destination. It's this incredibly powerful state you can get to as a result of all that effort.
A coherent nexus. It's that state of being where your inner world is just totally in sync. There's no internal conflict, no static. It's just harmony. And that harmony creates a strong, clear, direct line between what you want on the inside and what shows up on the outside. The source material puts this so well. Our inner world literally creates a field of unconscious information around us. So if that field is all messy and conflicted, the signal we're sending out is weak and confusing. But when it's coherent, that signal is powerful and crystal clear. Okay, so now we have these two huge ideas on the table. The process of the inner work and the principle of the coherent nexus. Let's connect the dots and see exactly how one leads to the other. This is the key. This is the whole ballgame. We've talked about the journey and we've talked about the destination. So how exactly do they click?
And there it is. It's that direct, that practical, step-by-step process of doing the inner work. That is what lets you achieve that state of inner harmony, that alignment, that we're calling a coherent nexus. One is the path, the other is the prize at the end.
Now this all sounds great in theory, right? But what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's bring it down to earth and see how this framework applies directly to education and learning.
Let's start in the classroom. For any student, their performance isn't just about studying harder or putting in more hours. Nope, it's deeply, deeply connected to what's going on inside.
Just think about a student who secretly believes, I'm not smart enough. That belief creates this internal static that sabotages their efforts before they even really start. It's like trying to drive with the handbrake on. But through the inner work, they can find that belief, they can challenge it, and they can transform it. And when they do, their true potential can finally come through in their schoolwork.
And hey, this isn't just about the students. A teacher's inner state is just as crucial. It doesn't just affect them, it radiates out and sets the tone for the entire classroom. So when a teacher is operating from this coherent, centered state, the effect is huge. They don't just handle stress better or become more resilient. They become this stable, positive, grounding influence that can totally change the dynamic of a classroom, making it a safer and way more effective place to learn. Now, while this is all deeply personal work, it doesn't mean you have to do it alone. And what's really interesting is seeing how modern technology can actually play a supportive role in this very human process.
I mean, imagine an AI that's designed not to replace this process, but to be a partner in it. You could have tools that give you personalized questions to help you uncover hidden beliefs or guided exercises to help you reframe those limiting thoughts. It's a fascinating example of tech being used to help our own inner development.
So, if you remember just one thing from all this,
let it be this right here. The effectiveness, the clarity, the success we experience in our outer world is a direct reflection of the harmony and coherence we build in our inner world. Period.
And that leaves us with a question to take with you. Looking at your own life, your own goals, what's one inner belief or emotional pattern that if you just became aware of it and started to shift it, could potentially change everything on the outside? That's something to think about.